These are the best moments when Star Wars characters went God mode. Also, become a member to watch our videos first. We've got to talk about this epic rematch. Finn finally stands up to his former boss Captain Phasma inside a burning dreadnought. The entire ship is collapsing around them, making the environment incredibly hostile and visually stunning. Phasma still thinks she owns him, calling him a bug, but Finn completely rejects his past trauma. He proudly declares himself rebel scum and lands a devastating blow against her shiny chrome helmet. The theatre went totally wild. It's a massive character growth moment here where he stops running away and finally goes full God mode to fight for what's right. The sheer cinematic spectacle of flames reflecting off her broken armor is just gorgeous. He channeled his inner beast perfectly here for true galactic justice.
You were always scum. Rebel scum.
Have you come to destroy me, Obi-Wan?
I will do what I must.
This was the ultimate emotional clash we were all waiting for. Obi-Wan starts the fight completely on the defensive, getting buried under a mountain of rocks by a furious Darth Vader. But then he remembers his true purpose, his connection to the Force awakens, and he completely unleashes his hidden power. He literally lifts an entire barrage of massive boulders and hurls them at Vader like he's activating a domain expansion. He systematically dismantles Vader's life support system, shattering his iconic helmet and exposing Anakin's scarred face underneath. The dialogue here is absolutely heartbreaking too.
Anakin's gone. I am what remains.
The action is pure God mode Kenobi. He proves once again why he's the legendary Jedi Master. Pure, perfect cinematic adrenaline. The atmosphere in this scene is absolutely legendary. We're in a deep, snowy, dark forest on the collapsing Star Killer base, and Kylo Ren is completely unhinged. Finn gets taken out, and the iconic Anakin lightsaber flies through the air, completely bypassing Kylo and landing right in Rey's hand. The theatre lost its collective mind here. Rey finally taps into the Force, letting it completely flow through her movements. She goes from wildly swinging to fighting with total focus precision. She completely turns the tables on Kylo, backing him right up to the edge of an enormous fiery chasm and slashing his face. For someone who'd never held a lightsaber before, she went absolute God mode to protect her friends.
Stay with me, Mom. Everything.
This is the exact terrifying moment when the heroic Jedi completely snapped. After discovering his mother brutally tortured and dying in the desert camp, Anakin Skywalker loses all control and goes into a dark side God mode. He ignites that lightsaber in the dark tent, and all you can see is pure, unadulterated hatred burning in his eyes. He doesn't just defeat the warriors, he mercilessly slaughters the entire camp, completely giving in to his aggressive rage. It's chilling and violent, and sets up his inevitable, tragic transformation into Darth Vader.
Someday I will be the most powerful Jedi ever. I promise you. I will even learn to stop people from dying.
The haunting musical score playing in the background perfectly captures his absolute emotional descent. Seeing the Chosen One cross that unforgivable line is genuinely terrifying and deeply memorable cinematic history. Here's Anakin in Vader form now. This entire duel in Cloud City is an absolute masterclass in cinematic tension. Luke Skywalker thinks he's totally ready to take on the big bad, but Darth Vader is just playfully toying with him the entire time.
You have learned much, young one.
You'll find I'm full of surprises.
Vader uses the Force to hurl heavy machinery, completely overwhelming the young Jedi. When Vader finally gets tired of playing games, he goes into absolute God mode, violently severing Luke's hand with a single, brutal lightsaber strike. It's a completely shocking, totally visceral moment that leaves the hero completely helpless and defeated.
There is no escape. Don't make me destroy you.
Then he drops the biggest plot twist in cinema history regarding being Luke's father. Vader completely dominates this sequence, proving exactly why he's the most feared villain ever. Before we proceed, do hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. You can also become a member for early access to all of our latest videos.
He told me you killed him.
No. I am your father.
It's not true. That's impossible.
Taking down a massive building-sized sand dragon is no easy task, but the Mandalorian makes it look incredibly epic. The entire town teams up with the Tusken Raiders to fight this colossal beast, but conventional weapons do absolutely nothing. Din Djarin realizes he has to go full God mode to save the day. He intentionally lets the massive crate dragon completely swallow him whole, along with a giant bantha rigged with heavy explosives. For a terrifying second, you actually think he's a goner, but then he violently flies out of the dragon's mouth using his jetpack, soaring into the sky just before he detonates the bomb from the inside out. He slayed a legendary mythical dragon without laser swords.
At last, the Jedi are no more.
Not if anything to say about it. I have.
When the tiny green Jedi Master walks right into the Chancellor's office and casually knocks out his guards with a flick of his wrist, you know it's about to go down. This is the ultimate clash of titans. Yoda and Darth Sidious engage in a massive telekinetic battle that literally destroys the Galactic Senate chamber. Yoda goes into absolute acrobatic God mode, flipping and spinning like a true martial arts legend. While Sidious unleashes his terrifying dark side power. Watching Yoda catch pure Force lightning with his bare hands and violently push it right back at the Emperor is completely mind-blowing. His sheer display of raw, concentrated power proves exactly why he was the Grand Master of the Jedi. When the annoying Jawas completely strip Mando's ship for spare parts, he doesn't just write them a strongly worded letter. He whips out his massive Amban phase pulse blaster rifle and completely unleashes hell. He takes careful aim and starts literally vaporizing the fleeing Jawas into thin air. 1 second they're running, and the next second they're just a cloud of floating dust. It's completely ruthless, highly efficient, and shows exactly why bounty hunters are feared across the galaxy. Mando goes into a cold, calculated mode, dropping targets with absolute sniper precision. It completely establishes that Din Djarin is a totally lethal enforcer who protects his property at all costs. You definitely respect the pure firepower.
I told you my friend was coming. I bring death.
Bendu is one of the most fascinating and overpowered beings in the entire lore. He claims to be the neutral center of the Force, but when the Empire brings their war to his peaceful planet, he completely loses his patience.
Leave this place. I am the light. I am the dark. I am the end.
He literally transforms himself into a massive, terrifying thunderstorm. He goes absolute god mode, dropping highly destructive lightning strikes on both the rebel forces and the Imperial walkers alike.
This is your friend?
Might have made him angry.
Yeah, I can relate.
Watching a giant booming face in the clouds aggressively completely decimate an entire military occupation is wildly epic. He swats down massive AT-AT walkers like they're cheap plastic toys. It's a brilliant reminder that the Force is a massive, uncontrollable force of nature, and Bendu is its avatar. We waited for decades to finally see Boba Fett do something truly badass on screen, and this episode delivered in spades. When he finally reclaims his iconic green armor from the Razor Crest, he steps out onto the battlefield and absolutely goes to town. He violently crushes stormtrooper helmets with his gaffy sticks, blasts them with his wrist rockets, and uses every single hidden weapon in his arsenal. It's a completely brutal, highly efficient beatdown that feels like a classic martial arts master completely dismantling a bunch of rookie thugs. He even uses his jetpack to launch a deadly missile that takes out two fleeing dropships simultaneously. It's pure, unadulterated fan service, earning his legendary fearsome cinematic reputation. Assassin droids are absolute menaces, and IG-11's grand entrance is the perfect example. When he pulls up to the desert compound to claim the bounty, he doesn't bother with taking cover or using stealth. He just slowly walks into the center of the crossfire and starts spinning his entire torso 360 degrees. His dual-wielding heavy blaster pistols with completely flawless robotic accuracy. He's dropping bandits left and right without even needing to look at them. It's a mesmerizing, highly calculated god mode that looks exactly like a built-in video game aimbot.
Let's go!
Mando's fighting hard, but IG-11 is just casually deleting enemies with terrifying mechanical precision. It completely changes how we view droids in this entire expanded universe. This is the ultimate student surpassing the master moment. After watching his beloved mentor Qui-Gon Jinn get fatally stabbed, young Obi-Wan is completely fueled by grief and rage. He goes absolutely feral, clashing with Darth Maul in an incredibly fast-paced, high-stakes duel. When Maul finally pushes him into the melting pit and kicks his lightsaber away, it looks totally hopeless. But Obi-Wan enters a state of pure focus god mode. He uses the Force to dramatically leap entirely out of the deep pit, grabs his master's fallen green lightsaber mid-air, and cleanly slices the arrogant Sith Lord perfectly in half. The sheer athleticism and the intense emotional payoff make it a flawless conclusion to one of the greatest lightsaber battles ever filmed. We've seen people lift rocks and push droids, but watching Darth Vader literally rip an entire escaping transport ship out of the sky is completely insane. The rebels think they've finally gotten away with it, but Vader simply walks out onto the landing pad, reaches out with his black glove, and grabs the massive vessel using the dark side. He forcefully drags it back down to the ground, tearing the massive metal hull wide open like it's a cheap tin can. It's a completely terrifying display of raw, unfiltered god mode power. He doesn't even break a sweat. It perfectly showcases just how incredibly overpowered and completely unstoppable he really is at his absolute terrifying villainous peak.
I'm still faster than you.
That may be, but I have armor.
Let's find out.
This was an insane western cowboy showdown set in a galaxy far, far away. Cad Bane is the ruthless, incredibly fast gunslinger who's terrorized the galaxy for decades, and Boba Fett is the hardened survivor protecting his new turf.
Now's about the time you jet off to your Bacta tank.
After a tense, dramatic stare down in the dusty streets of Tatooine, they finally draw their weapons. Cad Bane is faster on the trigger and knocks Boba down, gloating over his supposed victory.
This is my city.
But Boba completely flips the script, going into close quarters fight mode. He uses his traditional Tusken gaffy stick to disarm the legendary bounty hunter, sweeping his legs and delivering a final brutal strike that finally puts Bane down for good. It's a highly satisfying, deeply personal victory.
I knew you were a killer.
This is the exact moment the entire Galactic Republic completely fell apart. Mace Windu actually has the evil Chancellor pinned down, totally defeating him in a fierce lightsaber duel. But Palpatine is a master manipulator. He plays the weak, defenseless old man just long enough to completely corrupt Anakin Skywalker. The second Anakin tragically cuts off Mace's hand, Palpatine drops the entire act completely.
Anakin, I told you it would come to this. I was right. The Jedi are taking over!
He violently unleashes a massive, blinding torrent of Force lightning, screaming the iconic unlimited power line at the top of his lungs. He goes full dark mode, brutally electrocuting the powerful Jedi Master and blasting him straight out the shattered window into the Coruscant skyline. It's horrifying, dramatic, and incredibly visually intense cinema.
Please, don't! No!
Here he is again. Watching the Emperor actually travel to Mandalore to personally deal with his rogue apprentice is absolutely legendary. Maul and his massive brother, Savage Opress, think they've built a totally unstoppable criminal empire, but Sidious just casually strolls into their throne room and completely dismantles them with a creepy, joyful smile on his face. I mean, this isn't even a fair fight, it's a total brutal execution. He easily dual wields his red lightsabers, laughing while he simultaneously fights powerful Zabrak warriors like he's having a fun training session. He goes absolute god mode, brutally murdering Savage right in front of Maul before completely disarming and deeply torturing his former student with terrifying Force lightning. Pure villainous absolute perfection. Boba Fett escaping the Sarlacc pit was incredibly cool, but watching him earn his place with the Tusken Raiders is even better. While out digging in the harsh desert, a massive, terrifying sand ape suddenly bursts from the dunes to violently attack the group. Bob is chained up, exhausted, and barely wearing any protective gear, but his pure warrior instincts immediately kick in. He completely goes into god mode, wrapping his heavy iron chains entirely around the massive beast's thick neck to aggressively choke it out. It's a raw, desperate, and incredibly physical brawl where he literally uses the environment and his own heavy restraints as a deadly weapon. He completely neutralizes the giant monster with pure grit. Nobody expected the tiny, adorable green baby to literally save the entire city from a giant rampaging monster. A massive, terrifying rancor is completely tearing through the streets of Mos Espa, crushing heavy droids and completely destroying buildings. Boba and Mando are having a super rough time trying to calm the beast down. Then little Grogu bravely waddles right out into the middle of the absolute chaos. He casually holds up his tiny little hand, closes his eyes, and taps into a deeply powerful, peaceful God mode. He uses the Force to gently connect with the massive creature's mind. Completely soothing its raging anger and gently putting the giant beast to sleep. It perfectly shows off his intense Jedi training. This is arguably the most emotionally charged lightsaber duel in cinematic history. The stakes are completely through the roof as the two former brothers clash on the fiery volcanic planet of Mustafar. The choreography here is totally insane, flowing with the incredible high-speed grace of a martial arts masterpiece. They're surfing on sinking lava droids and violently swinging on giant falling towers. When Obi-Wan finally jumps to the safety of the rocky bank and claims the legendary high ground, he enters total tactical God mode. Anakin's dark side arrogance completely blinds him, causing him to foolishly leap right into Obi-Wan's perfect defensive strike.
It's over, Anakin! I have the high ground! You underestimate my power!
It's a devastating, tragic conclusion where the wise master strikes down his beloved corrupted student.
You're all clear, kid. Now let's blow this thing and go home.
The tension in this iconic trench run is absolutely palpable. The massive Death Star is seconds away from completely destroying the Rebel base, and almost all of the talented X-Wing pilots have been totally wiped out by Darth Vader's elite squadron.
Look out!
Luke Skywalker is racing down the narrow trench, completely overwhelmed by the targeting computer. Then he hears Obi-Wan's ghostly voice telling him to strictly trust his instincts. Luke turns off his advanced targeting computer, closes his eyes, and completely taps into the Force.
Have you not? What?
Yahoo!
He goes into an absolute pilot God mode, trusting his feelings over the heavy machinery. With a little perfectly timed help from Han Solo, Luke fires the exact, precise proton torpedo shot right into the tiny thermal exhaust.
Great shot, kid. That was 1 in a million.
Remember, the Force will be with you, always.
Here's our boy again. This throne room duel is incredibly heavy and deeply emotional. Luke's desperately trying to totally redeem his fallen father, refusing to fight him in the dark shadows. But when Vader uses his telepathy to cruelly threaten to turn Princess Leia to the dark side, Luke completely snaps. He fiercely ignites his green lightsaber, emerging from the dark shadows in an absolute furious God mode.
I am defenseless. Take your weapon. Strike me down with all of your hatred, and your journey towards the dark side will be complete.
He heavily batters Vader backwards, swinging with incredibly raw, emotional power until he violently chomps off his father's robotic hand, perfectly mirroring his own terrible loss. But the real God mode moment is when he looks at his own mechanical hand, completely throws his lightsaber away, and proudly declares himself a true Jedi Knight forever.
Never. I'll never turn to the dark side.
The revived Emperor Palpatine is an absolute horror show of dark side power in this massive finale. After completely draining the life force from Rey and Kylo Ren, he physically restores his decaying body and goes into total unlimited God mode. He looks up into the stormy sky and unleashes a massive, terrifying torrent of force lightning that literally disables the entire massive resistance fleet floating in the atmosphere above Exegol. He's laughing maniacally while single-handedly taking down thousands of huge spaceships with just his bare fingertips. I mean, it's a completely ridiculous, overwhelming, massive display of highly concentrated evil that forces Rey to call upon the spirits of all the past Jedi just to survive this spectacular epic encounter. This completely broke the entire internet, and for extremely good reason too. Mando and his heavily armed crew are totally trapped on the cruiser, about to be completely slaughtered by the unstoppable Dark Troopers. Suddenly, a lone X-Wing perfectly lands in the docking bay. A mysterious hooded figure smoothly steps out, ignites a glowing green lightsaber, and absolutely goes to town. It's Luke Skywalker in his absolute ultimate prime, entering the scene like a total superhero. He effortlessly slices through the terrifying battle droids, violently crushing them with the Force like they're cheap aluminium cans. It's a completely flawless, highly satisfying hallway fight that perfectly mirrors his father's iconic rampage to protect Grogu from certain mechanical death. Saw the ending earlier, but this was the main fight, so it deserves its own entry. The moment those massive hangar doors slowly open and the music starts heavily blaring, you know cinematic history is being made. Darth Maul drops his heavy dark hood, dramatically ignites his incredibly cool double-bladed red lightsaber, and the fight is totally on. The choreography in this intense 2-on-1 battle is absolutely revolutionary, flowing with the incredible speed and deep precision of a classic anime battle. Qui-Gon and young Obi-Wan are fiercely attacking from every single angle, but Maul totally goes into acrobatic god mode, flawlessly blocking their heavy strikes while violently kicking them right in the face. It's a beautifully lethal, highly athletic dance through the massive Naboo generator complex, changing lightsaber combat. This is widely considered the absolute greatest Star Wars sequence ever put on film, and it's totally flawless. The rebel troops are completely trapped in a dark, incredibly narrow hallway, desperately trying to escape with the stolen Death Star plans. Suddenly, the loud alarm stops, and you just hear his deep, heavy mechanical breathing. The glowing red lightsaber fiercely ignites in the pitch black, and absolute panic completely sets in. Vader goes into a terrifying, unstoppable horror movie god mode. He slowly marches forward, violently deflecting every single blaster bolt while mercilessly slicing through the terrified soldiers. He uses the dark side to violently slam them into the heavy metal ceiling and casually throws their own fired blasters right back at them. It was evil, but it was absolute cinema. Hope you liked the video. Please subscribe to the TV Regent and become a member for early access to new videos.